Good morning, everyone. It's Erica here from Me to You Paper Crafts. Today, I have a very interesting card. I'm calling it the frontal fun fold. The card itself is not a fun fold, although I do have an alternate card to show you that I created to fix a little mistake or perhaps a little something that didn't quite work out. But this is an origami fold that you put on the front of the card. And when you open up the origami fold, you get a little message inside. So you'll understand more as I show you. So today I'm using some new designer series paper called Poetic Expressions. It is in our spring mini catalog, and it coordinates with a stamp set called Thoughtful Expressions. Now, this is a very sweet spring-like stamp set, and I purchased it mostly because of the hummingbird. We get a lot of hummingbirds in our yard, and we feed them all the time. Even during the cold winter when the hummingbird food would freeze, we kept swapping it out with thawed feeders so that they can continue to feed. Really, really sweet stamp set, but mostly the dies. The dies are absolutely incredible. Look at these fantastic kind of lacy look dies that you can layer one on top of the other, and then you've got these great dies. So I love dies like this. I love all dies, especially the ones that create layers. So if you're a photographer, I always point out these dies are fantastic for really showcasing your photographs. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera down so we can get started and see where I'm going with this frontal fun fold card. So I am just going to add my desktop, and I'm just going to make it front and center. There we go. Okay, so I might need a bit of a light here to start off with. So I hope everyone had a lovely weekend. It was a horrible day yesterday. It was rainy and cold here in Victoria. A perfect day for crafting. It's a sad thing, you know, when you're a paper crafter and you love it as much as I do, you almost wish for more rainy days than sunny days. I know that's insane. However, that's going to change my mind pretty quickly because for my birthday, my husband bought me an e-bike. So I have a brand new e-bike. It's brilliant red. It's just gorgeous, and I can't wait to get out there. So today is a beautiful day, but it's cold. I'm kind of a fair weather sports person. I always was. I only wanted to ski on the best day. I only wanted to rollerblade on the best day. I only wanted to water ski on the best day. All the sports I've done in my lifetime, I've kind of been a fair weather sports person. Golf too. Oh boy, I was not going to be golfing on a rainy day. All right, so first I want to show you this card. This is where I got the idea from. We had a demonstrator retreat in early part of February, and we did a card buffet. So each demonstrator that went to this retreat had to create a card and then provide all of the materials to make the card. And so there were 12 of us up there, and so we had 12 cards. So this was Cheryl's card. She did a lovely job using the Stippled Roses paper. This particular paper you can get for free during Celebration, which is ending in a few days. So just to let you know, if you want some free stuff, you kind of have to spend some money to get some free stuff, but it's worthwhile, honest to goodness. Anyway, so she'd used this paper and backed it up with some Pool Party with this brand new, this is also in the Spring Mini. It's a new softly sophisticated 3D embossing folder. So it's really, really a sweet embossing folder. And then she did a happy birthday, and then inside for a special person on a special day. So that's a really sweet card. But the focal point of this is this origami fun fold. So you just pull it apart, and then inside you can put your message. So instead of the big message being on the inside of the card, it's on the outside of the card. So isn't that cute? So there's that fun fold. So I'm going to show you how to make this card today. Now I wanted to show you, so notice how this fun fold, let me just put it back together again. And I can never get it back together again the right way. One of these goes underneath. Here we go. You fold it like a cardboard box. There we go. Okay, so when I replicated this card, you see how sometimes you end up with just a tiny little bit of a hole in there, and it kind of bugged me that there was a hole in there. So on this card, I actually decided to tie a ribbon around it. So this is a different fun fold card totally, but then I tied this ribbon around the center. So you open up the ribbon, then you open up the fun fold, and then you get your greeting inside. So I thought that was, I really liked the way that turned out. All right, so let's get started with this card. Oh, I also want to show you how she used the designer series paper on the envelope. That is such a cool idea, just to give it a little bit of fun on there. Okay, so I've got most of my pieces cut out here. I've got a card base. This is Moody Mauve because it matches this Poetic Expressions paper, which is so pretty. So when you're doing this fun fold, you want a non-directional paper so that it doesn't matter how you turn the paper, the pattern does not get disrupted. The same thing for the other side. And then the big decision is, do you want the pattern on the outside or the inside for the fun fold, for the origami piece? And then I did emboss a piece of 4 by 5¼ inch basic white using that softly sophisticated 3D embossing folder. Okay, at first I was going to put this paper on the front, but I thought it would get too busy with the other piece on top. So I am going to put this on the top here, like so. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do this fun fold. It's really, really easy. You start with a 6 by 6 piece of designer series paper, and you are basically going to score it. Let me pull out my scoreboard. Excuse me. Okay, I can't remember what the scoring measurement was. I think it's 1 inch. Let me just open this up. Or 1½ inches. I can't remember now. Yes, it's 1½ inches. Okay, so you're going to score this at 1½ inches on all 4 sides. So I'm going to go to 1½, 1½, 1½, and 1½. Okay, so you've got 1½ inches on all 4 sides. So I can get rid of that. Good morning, Carol and Christine. Okay, now I'm going to fold up my pieces. I think I want the blue on the inside. So I'm going to fold up all 4 sides on this card here. And I'm going to grab my bone folder. Just to give them a nice crisp crease. Okay, now the paper's busy, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge to cut out the 4 corners, but that's basically what you're going to do, is you are going to cut out all 4 corners. So I like to just turn my paper over to a side where I can maybe see the crease. I'm going to throw on another light. Sometimes light helps. Oh, there you go. See, I can see that really well. So I'm going to cut up. And I'm cutting up to the first score line. So all 4 of these corners have to be removed. Now, I just saw on Facebook, I was scrolling through, and I follow a local photographer in town, Doug Clement. He does amazing photographs, and he took a photograph of a teacup tree in James Bay. And there are all these teacups and saucers hanging from this tree. And the tree has started to blossom. And he was noting that in a few days, that tree will be filled with blossoms on this teacup tree. Now, he didn't say exactly where this teacup tree is. I'd love to go and see it. And it could be in somebody's backyard, so who knows. But if you want to de-stash your teacup collection, that might be a really cool way to do it, is to hang them on a tree. Okay. Now, you could use these on another card. You could create a design on another card. So I wouldn't throw them away very quickly until you think about that. All right, so here is basically our 6x6 paper scored at 1.5 on each side, and then you're going to cut out all 4 corners. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to crease. Let me pull out the sample so you can see. Here it is. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to fold down one of the left corner. So you're going to rotate the paper. So if I go like this, I'm going to bring this straight edge here. I'm going to pull this down. Now here's where you decide where you want, if you want which paper that you want. So I think I wanted this on the, what did I want? I want this on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to fold this down, and you're going to sort of, if you have a fingernail, or you could use your bone folder, you're going to just hold down that very corner and fold this down until it meets the edge. Okay. So you're folding this down until this left edge meets the bottom edge. You're going to fold that over. Now, the key thing is you have to rotate the paper, and you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to pull this corner down. I just stick my fingernail right in that corner and pull this down, and then crease it. Okay, then I'm going to rotate it again and pull this corner down to the edge. And then do the last one. Okay, now I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm going to recrease those. Okay, so there's your fold. So again, you're folding them over one after another. So you go 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, and then this piece here will tuck under this piece here. Okay. All right. Now for the center panel, this works out to be, it's 3 by 3. So I've cut a piece of basic white 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and this is where I would put my center message in here. Okay, now I thought that I would use, I love this little flower here, or even this little piece here, and I was going to use You're in My Thoughts today. So this is, I just got this set, so I apologize, I don't yet have my labels on here. So I'll just put these on. It's always a good review to show you how I put my labels on. So I just make sure you've got the right label, and then I only peel off half that backing, And then I line up the stamp and stick it on there. Okay, and then I want that little flower. Oh, it's really tiny. It's going to be perfect. Take off the flower. Peel off my sticker. Peel off half the backing. Okay. All right, so then you want to get the other half of the backing off. And this is where I use my silicone craft sheet, and I just cover off half that sticker, because if this part of the sticker sticks down, you will not be getting it up. And then I'm just going to grab my where's my pokey tool? So now I'm just peeling up this sticker. Okay. Whoops, wrong way. There we go. So now I can remove these, and then I'll put the rest of my stickers on later. So you're in my thoughts today. I'm hoping these two pieces will fit on there. And I brought out some Stampin' blends. Okay. So bring out my Memento black ink. And then this little flower, pick this up, just put right there. Excuse me. All right, I'm going to let that ink dry a little bit before I use my blends. So the next step is I'm going to put this on the front of my card, and I'm going to use my Tombow glue. And let's put this on the front. Like so. All right, now we've got, now I decided to, if I'm going to do the ribbon trick, which I want to leave as an option, I thought it would be good to be able to tie the ribbon on something other than just this origami fold. So I decided to use a bit of pink to back that off. That's our bubble bath pink. Just to do a layer on there, and then I can tie the ribbon on if I need to, okay? But let's just finish up this piece here and see if we can avoid the ribbon trick or do the ribbon trick. It creates a more of an interactive card if you use the ribbon, which is kind of fun. but it's really not necessary. So this is Old Olive that I'm using. And I'm going to do the dark. Just add a little bit more depth in there. And then I've got, I think this is Bubble Bath. Yeah, I brought out the light Bubble Bath. I love the design of this stamp because it almost looks like there's little butterfly wings surrounding it. Then I'll pull in the darker Bubble Bath. Add a bit of texture. And I think I'm just going to use the green for the center. Because I didn't bring in any yellow. Okay. That's all the coloring that we need. Okay, so we can now glue this inside a card. Excuse me. Okay, my tape runner's gone for a walk. I'm sure it will be back later. I'll just use my Tombow glue. You could put another layer in here if you wanted to. Just go 1/8 of an inch up. I think that's centered pretty good. Okay, so let's see if I can fold this again. This is always a bit tricky. Now, when you're folding it, you see how I'm getting a bit of resistance on this side here? I'm getting a tiny bit of resistance. Now, so it could be that when I trimmed it, yeah, see, I can still see my score line here. So I try and get rid of those score lines. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a trim. Okay. And it's still catching. There we go. Okay, and then the last one gets tucked under. So you can go in any direction. You just have to make sure you're going all the way around. Okay, and then these fold over like that. Okay, so there's your pinwheel. Isn't that sweet? Yeah, I don't think you can avoid, and this is me just being persnickety, that little hole in the middle again. It's just me being really picky. I don't know if you can see that. I'll pull it up to the camera. See the tiny little hole in the middle. And maybe that's just the nature of it because I've done 3 of these cards. I can see a bit of a score line on here too. So I'm just going to get rid of that. There we go. But there's your pinwheel. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to back this. I think it looks nice if I back this onto the pink. So if I choose to do the ribbon, we can do the ribbon. Okay, so we have this ribbon. These were our ink colors that came out last year. So you could tie the ribbon and you tie it all the way around the card. Okay, so I'm going to glue this on here because we'll try the ribbon. It might be a bit thick, this ribbon. The other ribbon I used was a lighter ribbon. Let's just glue this on here. So if we wanted to do the ribbon, I just kind of like the look of the ribbon on here. Just trying to judge how much ribbon I need. See, I really like it with the ribbon. What do you guys think? It's a bit of a thicker ribbon for sure. So this might not be a great card to pop in the mail, but you could certainly hand deliver it. And it's almost like wrapping a little present. Now you want to leave enough of a tail so that the person can re-tie the bow. So don't cut the ribbon short. Don't create short tails. Okay, so that's there. Now, what I want to decide is the greeting. So where is the greeting? Here it is. Oh, no, that was the greeting on the inside. Maybe we don't need a greeting on the front. Okay, so on this card, this used the double oval punch that is still available. It's still current. So you could put a little happy birthday on there. You could have just tied the ribbon here and just left the fold by itself. There's so many different ideas that you can do. So that's totally up to you. You could skew it, which I think I might do on this card, just again to do something a little bit different. I mean, that's just a beautiful focal point right there. I think I like it skewed. So that's what I'm going to do. There we go. It's a little harder to open, you think, Carol? But that's the challenge. Harder to open to get to the surprise inside. There you go. There's your origami card. Okay, and then you could do something on the inside, and you could take this paper again and you could put a strip on the inside with some white, and you could do the same thing with the envelope. I'll give you the, now it does depend on, but I made a note of the size of the paper you need to do the envelope flap. Now these are envelopes, the envelopes that I have. So you need a 2 1/4 inch by 5 3/4. Just make sure that you measure the width of your envelope before you put it on there. Okay, so these are my envelopes here. Now the other thing, I mean, you can always, if you have another, you know, scrap of the DSP, you know, you just have to lay it on there and cut around it. But I don't like to waste my paper, so I do cut it down, and that's just the measurement. And then you glue it. I put glue all over the flap on the back, and then I just put that on there, and then I trim any excess. But it's really fun to do that on the envelope. As a matter of fact, why don't we do it right now? So I need a 2 1/4 by 5 3/4. So 2 1/4. I'm going to save this little edge bit because I can use that on the inside of the card. So 2 1/4. And then I can use this. So what I do is I will put this on here. So it fits perfectly. That 5 3/4 inch width fits perfectly. So then I just put your glue on there. And then just butt that up against the score line. Don't go over the score line. Be careful of that. And then just glue that on. And I'm going to grab an inside piece because I could use this for my inside piece. Like that. And then I have a completed card. And then on the front of the envelope, and even on the inside here, I think I'm going to stamp that flower again. So let's take the flower, and I'm going to stamp it on the envelope. Now, don't feel that you always have to color your images on your envelope. You could just leave it black and white, but I'm going to tell you, if you're going to use your alcohol markers, you need to put something inside the envelope. Otherwise, it will bleed right through to the back. So put in another piece of cardstock inside before you color, okay? That is my suggestion. And then I will just, oh geez, I caught some ink on there. You got to watch that. Okay, so there is the card. So I'm just going to glue this inside. I don't know where my tape runner went. It's a Tombow glue day today. So I'd love to see what you make with this fun fold. And there's the card with matching envelope. So thank you so much for joining me this morning, ladies. Have a great week. I'll see you back here on Thursday night. And I'm going to start introducing some new products that will be available for customers, I think March the 5th. I've got two stamp bundles to showcase. And I might do something during the week as well. We'll see how it goes. So thanks again. Have a wonderful day. Get out in the sunshine. And we will Thursday night. Bye for now, ladies.